Welcome back to ChapterCast, your go-to audio study partner where we make ABA click with clarity, examples, and a sprinkle of fun. Today, we're diving into Chapter 5, Improving and Assessing the Quality of Behavioral Measurement. Let's get into it. Section 1, Why Quality of Measurement Matters. Okay, pop quiz. Would you trust a speedometer that's always wrong by 10 miles per hour? No? Then why settle for shaky behavior data? In ABA, high-quality measurement is what helps us draw valid, reliable conclusions. Without it, our data is about as helpful as a blurry GPS. Section 2. Measurement dimensions. What are we evaluating? Let's break it down. There are 3 essential qualities we assess. Validity. Are we measuring what we say we're measuring? Example, if you're measuring tantrums but only count loud vocalizations and miss the hitting or dropping to the floor, that's not valid. Accuracy. Is the measurement correct? Think of it like a scale. If you weigh 150 pounds but the scale reads 165, it's inaccurate. Reliability. Is the measurement consistent across time and observers? If 2 observers record different numbers watching the same session, we've got a reliability issue. Section 3. How do we ensure validity? We ensure validity by clearly defining the target behavior and making sure the data reflects the full scope of that behavior. Use operational definitions. Don't assume the observer knows what aggression means. Define it. Section 4. Accuracy and how to improve it. To improve accuracy, we use tools like video recordings, permanent products, and sometimes even a second observer. Training and consistent practice matter. Imagine 2 people counting how many times a child says no. They need to be aligned like synchronized swimmers. Section 5. What's Interobserver Agreement, or IOA? This is a big one. IOA is when 2 observers independently collect data on the same behavior simultaneously, and we compare their records. It helps confirm we're on the same page. Common IOA methods include total count IOA, which is a simple count comparison, mean count per interval IOA, which looks at agreement across intervals, exact count per interval IOA, the most strict method where only matches count as agreed, and trial-by-trial IOA, which is great for discrete trials. Real-life moment. If 2 RBTs track how often a child requests help, and they both get wildly different numbers, yikes! That affects treatment integrity. Section 6. When should we use IOA? Short answer, early and often. Use IOA during baseline and intervention phases and anytime you switch observers. It's part of ethical practice and ensures accountability. Section 7. How to improve reliability. Reliability thrives with solid training, observer calibration, and regular check-ins. Don't assume your team is collecting perfect data just because they've been doing it a while. Wrap up why this chapter matters. If you're using poor data, you're steering your ABA ship into foggy waters. Quality behavioral measurement is the GPS of evidence-based practice. The better your data, the stronger your decisions. Call to action. If this breakdown helped you learn, laugh, or just survive your ABA coursework, give us a like, comment your next chapter request, and hit that subscribe button. Because at ChapterCast, we're all about listen, learn, retain. See you in the next one.